father of our nation, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. He was born on 2nd October in 1869. His parents were Karamchand Gandhi and Putli Bai. Karamchand Gandhi was the chief minister of Porbandar at that time. Mohandas Gandhi's marriage was planned around the time he was 13 years old. He was married to Kastur Kapadia, who later changed her name into Kasturba Gandhi after the marriage. They were married in the year 1883. Kasturba was 14 years old then. Mohandas Gandhi and Kasturba Gandhi had 4 children. All of them were boys. Their names were Harilal, Manilal, Ramdas and Devadas. Work in South Africa. After completing his initial education, Gandhi made his way to London in order to study law. His aim was to become a barrister, which was also what his family wanted for him. He studied law in the University College of London in the year 1888. After that, he returned back to India, making attempts to start his own law practice. When those attempts did not bear any fruit, he decided to take up a job with a law firm. That job is what brought him to South Africa. In that period, South Africa was facing a lot of discrimination along the lines of race and color. Gandhi, hailing from India, also had a dark-colored skin. When riding on a bus that was filled completely, a white man asked Gandhi to vacate the seat he was sitting in, just because he had a dark-colored skin. Along with that incident, there were various instances where Gandhi was refused a room in the hotels of South Africa, as well as ordered to remove his turban by a court magistrate as well. All of these movements inspired him to fight for equality and develop political ideas that could help people. Mahatma Gandhi and Indian freedom struggle. In 1914, Gandhi left South Africa for India after 21 years of organizing civil disobedience protests against abuses of Indian rights. Gandhi took on India's British colonial rules upon his return, organizing passive resistance campaigns and shaping the Indian National Congress into an effective grassroots party based around the philosophy of Satyagraha, or unconditional nonviolence. His actions earned him the title of Mahatma, or Great Soul. Champaran agitations. Gandhi's first major achievement came in 1917 with the Champaran agitation in Bihar. The Champaran agitation pitted the local peasantry against their largely British landlords, who were backed by the local administration. The peasantry was forced to grow indigo furrow, a cash crop for indigo dye, whose demand had been declining over 2 decades, and were forced to sell their crops to the planters at a fixed price. Unhappy with this, the peasantry appealed to Gandhi at his ashram in Ahmedabad, pursuing a strategy of non-violent protest. Gandhi took the administration by surprise and won the concern from the authorities. Kheda. When Kheda, a village in Gujarat, was badly hit by floods, the local farmers appealed to rulers to waive off the taxes. Here, Gandhi started a signature campaign where peasants pledged non-payment of taxes. He also arranged a social boycott of the Mabladas and Taldas. In 1918, the government relaxed the condition of payment of revenue tax until the famine ended. Khilafat movement. Gandhi's influence on the Muslim people was remarkable. This was evident in his involvement in the Khilafat movement. After the First World War, the Muslims feared for the safety of their Caliph or religious leader, and the worldwide protest was being organized to fight against the collapsing status of Caliph. Gandhi became a prominent spokesperson of All India Muslim Conference and returned the medals he had received from the empire during his Indian Ambulance Corps days in South Africa. His role in the Khilafat made him a national leader in no time. Non-cooperation movement. Gandhi had realized that the British had been able to be in India only because of the cooperation they received from the Indians. Keeping this in mind, he called for a non-cooperation movement. With the Congress' support and his indomitable spirit, he convinced the people that peaceful non-cooperation was the key of independence. The ominous day of Jallianwala Bagh massacre triggered the non-cooperation movement. Gandhi set the goal of Swaraj or self-governance, which since then became the motto of Indian freedom movement. Salt March, also known as Dandi movement. Gandhi's Salt March is considered to be a pivotal incident in the history of freedom struggle. At the Calcutta Congress of 1928, Gandhi declared that the British must grant India dominance status or the country will erupt into a revolution for complete independence. The British did not pay heed to this. As a result, on December 31, 1929, the Indian flag was unfurled in Lahore and the next January 26 was celebrated as the Indian Independence Day. Then, Gandhi started a Satyagraha campaign against the salt tax March 1930. He marched 388 kilometers from Ahmedabad to Dandi in Gujarat to make salt. Thousands of people joined him and made it one of the biggest marches in the Indian history. Quit India movement. During the Second World War, Gandhi was determined to strike the British Empire with a definite blow that would secure their exit from India. This happened when the British started recruiting Indians for war. Gandhi protested strongly and said that the Indians cannot be involved in a war that is in favor of democratic purpose when India itself is not a free country. This argument exposed the two-faced image of the colonials, and within half a decade they were out of this country. About Mahatma Gandhi's death. After India's partition came into effect, the nation split into India and Pakistan. Many people began to detect the policy of Gandhi. Nathuram Godse was a Hindu nationalist, was one among them. As a result, he fired 3 bullets at Gandhi on 13th January 1948 at around 5:17 p.m. and assassinated him. The title of Mahatma was bestowed on Gandhiji and a large funeral was arranged for him. More than 20 lakh people attended the funeral to bid goodbye to the father of our nation.
ఓ బాపు నువ్వే రావాలి నీ సాయం మళ్ళీ కావాలి జరిగే దుర్మార్గం ఆపాలి నువ్వు చేతి కర్రతో కదిలేవో సత్యాగ్రహం, కదిలేవో సత్యాగ్రహం. వెండి కొండల శిరసు పండిన యువకుల మించిన సాహసం, యువకుల మించిన సాహసం. పక్కపలచని బాబు గుండెలో ఆసేతు హిమాచలం, దుక్కున రాల్లో ఉప్పొంగే స్వాతంత్ర రక్త గంగాజలం. సత్య మార్గముల మడమ తిప్పని స్వరాజ్య దీక్షా మానసం. అతడంటే గడగడ వణికింది ఆంగ్లేయుల సింహాసనం. చాకు పిస్టల్ కొడవలి గొడ్డలి ఎందుకు హింసా సాయుధం, ఎందుకు హింసా సాయుధం. ఆవేశం కోపం ద్వేషం కాదు, చిరునవ్వే మన ఆయుధం, చిరునవ్వే మన ఆయుధం. సాటి మనిషిపై ప్రేమేగా మన మాతృభూమికి గౌరవం. మానవతే మనకెన్నడు చెరగని అందమన్న గాంధీజం. భయం చెందని నెత్తురు చిందని గాంధీ మహోద్యమ జ్వాలలు, గాలి తరంగాలై వీచినవి దేశంలో నలుమూలలు. వందే మాతరం, వందే గాంధీ ఓంకారం, వందే వందే మాతరం, గాంధీ ఓంకారం. వందే మాతరం, వందే గాంధీ ఓంకారం, వందే వందే మాతరం.
ഇന്ത്യയെന്ന നാടിനെ സ്വതന്ത്രമാക്കി ഗാന്ധിജി അഹിംസയെന്നൊരായുധം ധരിച്ചു നിന്നു പോരടി. ഇന്ത്യയെന്ന നാടിനെ സ്വതന്ത്രമാക്കി ഗാന്ധിജി അഹിംസയെന്നൊരായുധം ധരിച്ചു നിന്നു പോരടി. സത്യവും അഹിംസയും കൈവിടാതെ മുന്നേറി വീരനായി ധീരനായി രക്തസാക്ഷിയായി താൻ. സത്യവും അഹിംസയും കൈവിടാതെ മുന്നേറി വീരനായി ധീരനായി രക്തസാക്ഷിയായി താൻ. ഭാരതത്തിൻ ഭാഗ
Now some words about Mahatma Gandhi. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was one of the greatest freedom fighters that the world has ever seen. He was a self-sacrificing hero. He began several movements like Quit India movement as well as Satyagraha movement. Ahimsa was a term that he had coined in London. He was not born great, but he made himself great through his difficult struggle and action.
रघुपति राघव राजा राम, पतित पावन सीताराम. रघुपति राघव राजा राम, पतित पावन सीताराम. सीताराम सीताराम, भज प्यारे तू सीताराम. सीताराम सीताराम, भज प्यारे तू सीताराम. ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरे सबको।
Gandhiji's other mass movements are known as cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, etc. He worked for removal of untouchability from India. He died on January 30, 1948. He is still remembered for his great work and the main qualities such as non-violence, truth, love and brotherhood.
रघुपति राघव राजा राम, पतित पावन सीताराम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम, पतित पावन सीताराम। सीताराम सीताराम, भज प्यारे तू सीताराम। सीताराम सीताराम, भज प्यारे तू सीताराम। ईश्वर